What is up, my Squirtleites? It is I, your king, welcoming you back to more Let's Play Destiny. In the last episode, we returned to the moon to put down a hive insurgency. In the process, trying to locate Eris Morn. But before we found Eris Morn, we found the Pyramid Ship. What is the Pyramid Ship? Well, that's what this whole campaign is here to find out. But first, we need to actually go and talk to Eris Morn before we do anything else. So let's see what she has to say on the matter.
The fanatic. Crota. Like living nightmares, your past confronts you, Guardian. Old scars reopen around me as well. Phantoms of my friends return with a malice they never truly had. Every one of them, the twisted will of that looming pyramid. We must not let it distract us from our goal. Finding a way inside.
And that is what we must do. So, a phantom of my deceased fire team member, Saimoda, haunts me. It is only a trick of the pyramid. From the Nightmare of Crota, you receive an unknown object that harbors a dark energy. You leave it with Eris Morn so she can unearth its secrets. In the meantime, the moon hosts further mysteries to uncover regarding entering the pyramid. The hive seem to be exhibiting strange behavior that may help. Investigate the strange hive behavior near the Scarlet Keep. We need to do the next quest in search of answers. You can see we have bounties here, but we have to continue more of the campaign to actually do that. There's a whole lot more to this campaign than you might immediately recognize. But I'm going to talk about kind of the themes of this campaign first. So, if you remember correctly about the whole Crota campaign, Eris was originally one of the Guardians. And yes, I know we can track it on the director. Thank you. Got it. I appreciate it. I really don't need that waypoint there. If you remember correctly... If you remember all the way back during the Dark Below DLC in Destiny 1, we first met Eris Morn, who was a Guardian, who was a member of a fire team that went down into the Crota's End raid, and they all died except for Eris. Eris lost her ghost, and therefore she cannot die and be reborn again. She is stuck with only her one life left, but the rest of her fire team was killed. This fire team is now being used by the Pyramid as essentially nightmares that are there to haunt her, to guilt her, and hopefully impede her progress as she continues to investigate into the pyramid. We have our own nightmares, which spawned before in that last mission, which was obviously the likes of Crota, the Fanatic, Gaul, things of that nature. And we need to help Eris by taking down our own nightmares as well as hers. So we're going to be heading out here into the Hellmouth because, well, this is the same moon. It really is. This is the same moon that we had in Destiny 1. We have the Hellmouth, we have the Anchor of Light, we have Archer's Line, the very same locations that you remember, but things have shifted a bit. We've got lost sectors added, we've got new region chests and things like that. The Hellmouth is a bit more fractured than you might remember, and there's also an entirely new section to the moon all the way up here called Sorrow's Harbor. But we'll get into that in a little bit. For right now, let's head on over here. I'm going to grab myself a public event here very quickly, and then we are going to start the next campaign mission, because we'll be doing an actual look around the moon a lot more once we have the ability to get bounties and things of that nature. So let's do it. Investigate the strange hive behavior near the Scarlet Keep.
All right, Eris. Where to?
The pyramid's warding is only a temporary inconvenience. We must first understand how it works if we're to pass through it. For that, the Hive may provide answers. For eons they lived next to the pyramid, and now they've constructed that Scarlet Keep above it. Its existence was clearly no secret to them. Now that it's activated, strange congregations of Hive have begun to appear on the moon. There is undoubtedly a connection.
And that's where we start.
So we're off to the Scarlet Keep once again to see what it entails. So welcome to Sorrow's Harbor, everybody. The brand new destination here on the moon. So we need to get 6 rune tablets. Defeat Hive and collect their tablets to better understand their relation to the nightmares. Luckily,
we must learn its purpose. Do not be afraid to engage the Hive.
Luckily, my controller disconnected right there for whatever reason. I don't know exactly why that happened, but luckily there is also a repeatable activity known as Altar of Sorrow that is going on here. Now, this is basically, it's a wave-based activity where you're supposed to take down hive nightmares and really powerful hive and stop them from making it from one side of the area to the next. So I believe they are heading from that section all the way over to this section, and if the nightmares make it there, they will knock down the timer, which makes it harder to actually complete the activity. So that Nightmare Ogre is definitely going to make it. But the more enemies that you kill, the longer that the timer lasts, and you use this opportunity to get as many of these tablets as possible. So let's start killing some. I think we need to specifically focus on Acolytes if we can here. And they will start to spawn eventually, but hopefully I can do a little bit of damage here. Let's hit that thing really quickly. Come on. Come on. Kill it, please. I know it's doable. Perfect. We're able to actually get a little bit of a reprieve. So you can see right up here, one of those tablets was dropped. Let's take that, and then let's actually get to work and start killing these things. Stop, you. There we go. That's some rune tablets I like to see. Thank you. So we only need 2 more of these now. Let's kill all of those. Keep killing them. Keep killing them. Just keep fighting them. I also have a bow here that I can use if need be. This thing has Dragonfly on it, which is really popular, really powerful, excuse me, on bows. So make sure that you are landing those precision shots with this thing, which I am not. But it's an incredibly strong thing to have on a very high damage type of weapon. So come on, keep taking them out. Oh, I'm gonna die. This thing keeps shooting at me. Thank you very much. All right, almost got it. Almost got it. I only need 1 more runed tablet. Let's take out this ogre. Come on, is that it? I think I got the last one. Yes, I did. All right. So with all that done, we have a new objective. Contact Eris Morn. So I'm guessing I need to go up here somewhere probably to establish a connection. I would continue with Altars of Sorrows, but it goes all the way up to 7 tiers. It takes a long time, and I'd rather get more in-depth in that activity a little bit later on.
It's the nightmares. The Hive are trying to draw them in for the ritual.
How curious. For what purpose?
It's unclear, but they don't seem affected by the nightmares at all. Not like we are.
Fascinating. We must learn how they've achieved that. That's our key to finding a way beyond the pyramid's wall.
Eris? Those screams sounded familiar. Almost like Omnigul.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good at all. Okay, well, what now? I guess we need to go find Eris in Sanctuary. Is there an actual nightmare there, or is... Okay, well, we better hurry back. Can we make it all the way back like this? No, we can't. We have to actually go back normally. Great. So once you make you get back to Sanctuary, head back on up here. Talk to Eris.
Saimota screams as she did the day Omnigul tore her apart and silenced her forever. Our fates nearly intertwined today when a nightmare of Omnigul swept through camp. My survival was a gift granted by the essence you retrieved from the Crota nightmare. Were we to truly harness the power of this essence, it may provide aid in the fight against the nightmares and beyond, to the pyramid itself. It knows we're coming. I can sense it. And we will have the upper hand.
All right, so this is all basically meant to unlock a whole new set of objectives that are now going to be available to us that kind of sort of mimic like an early stage of weapon crafting. So, reading this flavor text, appears the Screams of Sigh's Phantom have brought forth their burden for me to bear, the Phantom of Veltarlo. As the nightmare of Omnigul swept through the camp, Eris noticed a strange reaction from the essence of despair. Upon further investigation, it appears the essence can be of use in fighting these nightmares, but first it must be cleansed by any dark energy. Take the essence of despair and purify it in any way you can, then return to Eris Morn. So, that was a really convoluted, strange way of saying that these quests are meant for getting specific types of armor and or weapons. This first one we get is for getting the cloak. You have to cleanse this essence by completing patrols, public events, and lost sectors across the moon to eventually get it. We have a percentage that we basically need to make go up, and we do this by doing various things all over the map. So, once we grab ourselves a little bit of super energy, we get full heavy ammo and all that kind of stuff, we are then able to set off to Archer's Line, Anchor of Light, the Hellmouth, etc., and get some of this stuff done. So why don't we do that before we call this an episode? Take my Sparrow, we're going to go all the way over to Archer's Line, and we're basically just going to do some very basic activities to make this progress bar go up. I am not going to be showing most of these things. I'm only going to be showing the Lost Sector in particular, just because that's brand new. But what I'm going to do, and if you can see here, there is actually a kill patrol up ahead that we can do. So let me quickly kill everything right here. And let me head up and grab this. And you notice that you collect these patrols from actual nightmares themselves, as opposed to, like, well, we got them from, like, Corsairs, for instance, in the Dreaming City, and then you could get them from little beacons and other areas. Here you get them from the actual nightmares, because the moon is haunted. Don't ask any more questions about it. It's haunted. So we're going to kill a bunch of these dregs and things like that. We also got ourselves what looks like a high-value target here, so let's get him. I'm going to do that by shooting a rocket at him. And if I can, let's just use the finisher there. He sure did a strange bit of teleporting there once I hit him. And we'll take that. Also get a little ghost mod out of my troubles there as well. So we'll kill that guy, and it looks like we're able to finish that public event. I don't think they were. No, they did. They did. We're going to keep killing enemies until this whole thing is done, and we'll get to see how much the progress bar goes up by. Spoiler alert, it's not a lot. So let me show this really fast. Go into the quests menu, and 14%. All right, let's head into a lost sector. So there are technically four lost sectors on the moon, one in each area. One in Archer's Line, one in Anchor of Light, one in the Hellmouth, and one in Sorrow's Harbor. But the lost sectors on the moon are a bit more involved than they have been before. This is kind of where they started to really put a lot more effort into lost sectors. I don't say they're not still super easy, because they are, but they're not as short as they used to be. They actually have different rooms with different enemy spawns. The bosses are a little bit more complicated. Lost sectors themselves are actually, I think, really started to hit their stride here on the moon. So we got a trap at the beginning here. We're going to have a few enemies we have to go through before we get into another bigger room. So let's start by taking all of them out. Chuck a grenade over there. I don't think I cleared the window there, unfortunately. So I'll just keep using Ace of Spades here, which I haven't really been showing. So Ace of Spades is a hand cannon that every single time you reload it after a kill, you get 6 Memento Mori shots. These have additional damage beyond your regular bullets. And again, they have to be after a kill, and they also have better range. You also have Firefly on this weapon, which, causes that headshot explosion that does additional damage as well. But you want the hits to be precision kills, because it allows you to reload your weapon a lot faster than you would be able to otherwise. This is a very strong kinetic weapon in basically every activity in the game. You really can't go wrong with Ace of Spades, no matter what you're playing, except for the absolute highest level and endgame content. It's pretty much the only place I would say Ace of Spades does not work. It's good for raids, it's good for strikes, it's good for PvE, it's good for PvP. It is a very, very good weapon. It has amazing stats all the way around. I really like this weapon, actually, and I don't know very many people who don't like this weapon. It also has a lot of good ornament options. It has like 5, I want to say, some of the most of any exotic in the game. It gets a lot of love by Bungie, and for good reason, because it's Cayde 6's weapon that he used to have before he, bit the big one. All right, let's chuck a grenade over there. And while that rampages and kills almost everything over there except for the big nightmare, which I will do with my weapon. Kill them, grab these helium coils for a big glimmer boost, kill the sniper first. Let's see. Oh, there's another sniper over that way. I think for him, I'm going to use... Well, he's already weak enough. I probably shouldn't waste heavy on him. All right, now let's kill that guy. And now we have the boss to deal with. So this boss is actually going to teleport to different sections of the area, depending on where its health's at, which can be kind of a problem because it's a servitor, which means that it has the ability to actually shield the other fallen around it. So do be aware of that. You want to make it leave the section it's in once it moves around. So right now it's camped out over here. It's making all of those guys immune, so we can't really do any damage to them. So let's damage this thing and get it to move on over to the other side of the area. Now, I can get some headshot damage in there with an elemental damage. Firefly is always fire element, by the way, so do keep that in mind, but because it comes from a kinetic weapon, that's what makes it special. There's not very many kinetic weapons that can cause elements, so you really do want to value that. So once we've killed all of those, finish off the actual servitor itself. I could obviously use a super, but that's a little overkill at this point. Just use our rocket, and there we go. Cache code acquired, and we get ourselves Dissonance 34. And how much of our progress bar did that give us? Quite a bit more. That gave us a whole 40%. So why don't, if we want to finish this thing, why don't we head on over to the Anchor of Light and take care of that lost sector next, while also picking up a patrol once we're over there. All right, so I was able to finish one patrol in this area, one that I unfortunately could not take into the lost sector with me, which is why I didn't do that. But now that that's done, let's head on into said lost sector, which is all the way under this structure down this way. And this is, yes, the very same structure that was in Destiny 1, but they just kind of sneak this stuff in here. They don't kind of hide it in here, tuck it away in places you would never actually expect, which I think is always pretty cool how they just kind of repurpose areas, but they actually still make them interesting. So welcome to K1 Communion. All of the lost sectors on the moon start with K1. I do believe that it is a reference to the fact that they used to be part of the moon bases here, and you actually get a little bit of lore in regards to that by doing a lot of things here on the moon. I also finished a seasonal challenge, so that's pretty nice. Definitely going to have to get that. I cannot land my precision shots, apparently. There we go. All right, let's kill all of them, and then the door opens, and we can continue. So we've got a few enemies that are going to spawn in here. Take them out, and now we get into the bigger room. Now, this Lost Sector I actually think is even busier than the last one we were in. There's a lot going on in this one, and the final area actually has a lot of enemies you have to take out as you go. So let's get rid of them. And actually, before I kill that servitor, I want to kill those vandals in the back. I was hoping to hit the headshot there, because those snipers will pester you the entire time if you don't kill them immediately. They're very obnoxious to deal with. So let's just continue to kind of wipe the floor with everything in the room. There's not really a whole lot that can hurt me in here, especially with the weapons that I actually have. Kill them. As he jumps down, I'm going to drop a grenade down there. It's only going to really hurt the servitor because it was able to protect them in time. But that's all I needed before I start taking out everything else. And that, I believe, should be everything in here. Now we can continue. We got a couple more small bits of enemies to go through. There are some invisible vandals right here to kill. Get rid of them. And then in here, there's some more fallen that spawn in, including a captain. Don't run away in here. Where do you think you're going? Stay right here, please. Let's take all of them out. Then some wretches will spawn in here. Kill them all with a single headshot explosion. And now we get into the final room where the boss will spawn in. Now, the boss isn't here immediately like it was in the last Lost Sector. You actually have to kill enough enemies to get it to spawn in. And you will know it's about to spawn when everything goes dark, a red light flashes, and an alarm sound plays. It's basically like the security breach has begun because you've killed all of the Fallen in here, and then for some reason security thinks that the Fallen are the good guys, and well, I don't know, I'm not going to try to read too much into that because I don't really think they thought that through. I think it was more just an aesthetic thing, but whatever. Alright, so yeah, we got a heavy shank in here too. I'll kill him with the headshot so I can kill that tracer shank next to him. And that should be everything. Now the boss will spawn. So the boss spawns right there in the corner. What I'm going to do, take my rocket and shoot it. Pretty good damage, not a ton. Let's add a super onto that. And that should do the trick right there. Yep, all by itself. Really, really powerful. Of course, more enemies are going to spawn, so do be on the lookout for those. Come on, finish it off. Thank you. That's what I like to see. What a great super. I absolutely love this thing. All right, let's kill everything else. But be warned, because there is going to be one incredibly deadly thing that is going to spawn in here. Well, actually, two of them that are going to spawn in here in just a moment. So be careful. And don't get caught off guard. Be vigilant, because two giant groups of explosive shanks are going to spawn in. And they will swarm you pretty fast if you're not ready for them. And in fact, once you've actually cleared the room, additional exploder shanks will spawn, although only one on this side. So, on each side, excuse me. So kill all of them as well, because if you are standing next to them when they all blow up, that can cause you a lot of problems. All right. Now all that's done, let's return to Eris with the cleansed essence, and from there we should be able to get ourselves a brand new cloak. All right, Eris. Let's see what we got. I am definitely going to be equipping this thing.
My very soul was shattered into pieces. It was all I could do to try and pick them up again. But some pieces, as you can see, required replacing. I must call upon one of them now, an ancient talisman imbued with the magic of the Hive. Without it, the true power of the Nightmare Essence could not be harnessed. Through their union, we take our first step toward unearthing the secrets of the pyramid. But it is only a step. Further essences require further Hive magic, neither of which I possess. Acquire both, and our path to the pyramid should present itself.
So, that complicates things a little bit. We need to get something before we're able to fully unlock more of these essences. So, Eris used a Hive talisman of her own to create the first piece of protective armor. To pass beyond the pyramid's warding and discover what lies within, you need a full set of Dreambane armor, of which we only have the cloak. Take the first step, and we need to hunt the Nightmare of Omnigul. I believe if we go into the map... Oh, yeah, right here. Legacy Shadowkeep. So if we go to the Anchor of Light, we can actually start this quest, and this is going to take us into the old Temple of Crota, which we are going to take care of in the next episode, because that's going to be it for this one. Guys, thank you all so very much for watching this episode of Let's Play Destiny. I hope you all enjoyed it very, very much. Next time, we continue the Shadowkeep campaign, try to fully unlock this Dreambane armor set, and go from there. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.